The Samsung Galaxy S25 series is finally official. I've had some early hands-on time, and here's everything you need to know. What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and we're going to be breaking down all of the key differences to help you decide which one of these might be right for you. So, as expected, there are three new Samsung Galaxy S devices. There's the Samsung Galaxy S25, the S25 Plus, and the S25 Ultra. Now, in terms of the design, the S25 and the S25 Plus look very similar to the S24 and the S24 Plus. The only difference being the camera rings, which are a little bit thicker. The biggest visual change comes on the S25 Ultra, which now has flat sides and curved corners. We no longer have the boxy look that we've had from previous Ultra devices, but the curved corners are not as curved as the S25 and the S25 Plus. Now, these are the thinnest S-series devices that we've had. They're all around 0.4 millimeters thinner compared to the previous generation, and they're all also lighter. So the S25 is around 5 grams lighter compared to the S24. The S25 Plus is around 6 grams lighter compared to the S24 Plus, and the S25 Ultra is around 14 grams lighter compared to the S24 Ultra, so quite a significant weight reduction. Now, all devices have an IP68 water and dust resistance rating. The S25 and the S25 Plus have the same build materials, so you've got Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and the back, and then you've got armor aluminium, and titanium has been reserved for the S25 Ultra. Now, this is an improved version of titanium. I'm not sure of the specifics. They've not disclosed that as yet. And for colors, the S25 and the S25 Plus are going to come in a navy, an ice blue, a mint, as well as a silver shadow. But there will be 3 exclusive colors on Samsung.com: a blue black, a coral red, as well as a pink gold. Now, with the S25 Ultra, all of the colors are called titanium. So we've got a titanium silver blue, a titanium white silver, a titanium gray, as well as a titanium black. Now, all of these do have a natural titanium frame, so it's just the back that has the color. But Samsung do have 3 exclusive colors on Samsung.com: a titanium pink gold, a titanium jade green, as well as a beautiful titanium jet black, which is the one that I want to go for. The Samsung exclusive colors do have color matched frames, which I think look better. Now, if you are interested in getting any of these, you can check out my affiliate link down in the description below. That's also going to give you double the storage as well as some additional credit. They've not told me exactly what yet, but check out that link for the latest offers. Now, the S25 Ultra at the back still has Gorilla Glass Victus 2, but on the front, we now have Gorilla Armor 2. So with the S24 Ultra, we saw the introduction of Gorilla Armor, which is anti-reflective. Now, Gorilla Armor 2 does have the next gen of DX anti-reflectiveness, whatever that means. But testing them side by side, the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra, when it comes to the anti-reflectiveness, they seem to be quite similar in my hands-on testing. But Gorilla Armor 2 is supposed to be 29% more resistant to fractures and 60% less likely to need screen damage repair. Now, I'm not somebody who does scratch or drop tests. We're gonna have to wait and see when Zach gets his hands on the S25 Ultra. Now, as always, Samsung is using lots of recycled materials for the builds of the S25 series, with up to 50% recycled cobalt in the batteries, and that is sourced from old Galaxy devices, which is amazing. Now, the S25 Ultra does have the embedded S Pen, but there's some bad news. So the S Pen is going to work as normal on the screen, but it no longer has Bluetooth functionality, so you're not going to be able to use it as a remote clicker or a remote trigger for your camera. Now, this is something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be disappointed about. Why have they not included this? I'm not sure. They've not given me a specific reason, but I'm assuming because the Bluetooth S Pen does need more weight because of the battery and wireless charging, and to keep the weight down of the S25 Ultra series, that may be one of the reasons. I don't know. Now, for the displays, all of the displays have AMOLED technology as expected, with an adaptive refresh rate, so up to 120 Hz, and also the same peak brightness, 2600 nits. The screen sizes for the S25 and the S25 Plus remain the same, so 6.2 inches and 6.7 inches. We've got a full HD Plus resolution on the S25 and up to a Quad HD Plus resolution on the S25 Plus. Now, the S25 Ultra does get a slightly larger display compared to last year. So it's 6.9 inches up from 6.8 inches. And that is thanks to the slimmer bezels. We've got around a 15% reduction in bezels and they are symmetrical. The display does look beautiful in my first impressions. So apparently these displays are no longer LTPO. They are now HOP 3.0 displays with MDNIE technology. And this is supposed to help with upscaling. And we've got an improvement for upscale content by up to 43%. Now, let's talk about performance. So some really good news for everybody. All of the Samsung Galaxy S25 series devices all around the world will be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. For Galaxy means that it has been customized for Samsung, so it's slightly overclocked and it has some additional features. And all S25 series devices, the S25, the S25 Plus, and the S25 Ultra will come with 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM. No more 8 gigabytes for the base model. The S25 also gets an additional storage option, so we've got 128, 256, as well as 512 gigabytes. The S25 Plus, like we had last year, has 256 or 512 gigabytes. The S25 Ultra has 256, 512, as well as a 1 terabyte option. Now, all devices have a larger vapor chamber compared to last year. The S25 and the S25 Plus have a 15% larger vapor chamber. The S25 Ultra has a 40% larger vapor chamber. And we've got a tailored thermal interface material, TIM, for extra thermal efficiency. Now, in terms of the improvements in numbers, we've got up to a 40% improvement for the NPU, up to a 37% improvement for the CPU, up to a 30% improvement for the GPU, a 40% improvement for ray tracing, and the Vulkan API has had an 18% improvement. Now, considering all of these have the 8 Elite, I expect performance to be right up there. That is the flagship chipset, and it's also for Galaxy, especially the S25 Ultra. I think it's going to be one of the best performing devices out there for the months coming. Now for the cameras. So for the S25 and the S25 Plus, the camera hardware remains pretty much the same. So we've got a 12 megapixel selfie camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 50 megapixel primary camera, as well as a 10 megapixel telephoto camera, which is going to give you 3 times optical zoom and up to 30 times space zoom. Now, we do have the new image signal processor that is on the Snapdragon 8 Elite, including a new image signal processor for the selfie camera, so that should give you improved selfies. Now for the S25 Ultra, most of the camera hardware remains the same apart from one big improvement. So we have a 12 megapixel selfie camera, again with that new ISP, a 200 megapixel primary camera, a 10 megapixel camera with 3 times telephoto zoom, a 50 megapixel camera with 5 times optical zoom, up to 10 times lossless zoom, and all the way up to 100 times space zoom. But the new camera we have is the ultra wide camera, which is now 50 megapixels, and it's also got an increase in sensor size, which gives you around a 34% improvement in brightness, and it also gives you 4 times greater detail for macro shots. And a big improvement this new ultra-wide camera brings is that because it's now 50 megapixels, it can shoot in 8K up to 30 frames a second. So you now have 8K from the ultra-wide camera, the primary camera, as well as that 5x zoom camera. Now, there is a new Pro Visual engine as well as a custom STF, which is a spatial temporal filter, which is exclusive for Samsung using the Snapdragon 8 Elite. We'll see how much of a difference all of this stuff makes. Portraits are supposed to be improved. They're supposed to be more natural. They've got an object aware as well as a light aware system. Videos will be recorded at 10-bit HDR as standard, and you can turn this off. This will be interesting in terms of compatibility, and they should give you up to 4 times more dynamic range. There is now Galaxy Log available, so you can shoot in Log if you are in Pro mode. And there is going to be an update to the Expert RAW feature, which is going to give you a virtual aperture, and you'll be able to change the aperture for your images. Now, guys, as always, we're going to be working on an epic SuperSaf style camera comparison of the S25 Ultra versus the competition. If you want to see that first, you know what to do. Subscribe and hit that bell icon, all notifications, so you don't miss it. Right now, let's talk about the software. So the S25 series devices will come with Android 15 out of the box with One UI 7. Now, Samsung has promised 7 generations of software updates and 7 years of security updates. They are ahead of the game, and they're matching Google with that software promise, which is amazing. And of course, the software is built from the ground up with Galaxy AI in mind. Now, there are a lot of AI features, and I'm going to try to cover as many of these as possible for you. So we talked a little bit about the camera, and when you do record video, you will have the audio eraser option. This is going to be working on device, and it's going to allow you to improve the speaker's voice and minimize background noise such as with music, wind, nature, crowd noise. This is a feature that we've seen similar iterations of on Google devices as well as iPhones, so it'll be interesting to see how this compares. There are also some improvements in AI photo editing, so we've got an improved generative edit function, and it's more accurate in removing objects and people from your images. It's just not going to paint over it. It's going to be a lot more accurate. And testing this out, removing me completely from this picture, it actually did a pretty good job. Portrait Studio is supposed to be improved, and it can now also function on device, which makes it faster. Here are some examples. Some were pretty decent, others were not so much. Drawing Assist has been improved, so although we've had sketch to image previously where you can just draw on an actual photo and it's going to turn that into something that looks realistic, we have a new large language model, and you can also now use text instead of just sketching. So in this example, I just said dog in an astronaut costume, and look what it came out with. It's pretty impressive. There's now Best Face, which works very much like Best Take on Google. So if you have a group photo, you take a few different shots. There might be some images where somebody's kind of closing their eyes or looking away. There's always one person in every family that does that. So you can go in later on and change that face after the fact. Live Translate, where you can translate when you are using the interpreter or when you're in a call, has now gone up to 20 languages from 16. Browsing Assist, which was one of my favorite features on the S24 series. I use it all the time to summarize web pages, but now, as well as summarizing and translating web pages, the new feature is that it can read things out aloud too. We've got the Now bar, which you may have seen on some of the early beta One UI updates. This is kind of like the dynamic island on iPhone, but it's a lot more reachable because it's towards the bottom. And this gives you fast access from the lock screen, and you can manage your most used apps and control without swiping or launching any of the full apps. So for instance, if you've got football scores, maybe you're following some directions, or you have a timer. And Samsung is also working with lots of third-party apps such as Just Eat as well as airlines, so you can see those updates there in the Now bar. Circle to Search has also been improved with enhanced recognition, so it can search text, images, as well as sound within videos that are playing on the device. So we've all used Shazam and the likes, where something is playing and you want to find out what that music is, but now you're going to be able to do it while something is playing on device. And Samsung has brought Gemini and Bixby together almost to give you much more of a personalized AI experience with a conversational search experience with natural language. So you can just say things like make my text more visible or switch off the always on display, and it's going to be able to go into the settings and do that for you thanks to the Bixby part of it. There are also multimodal capabilities, so you can just press and hold the power button, activate Gemini and Bixby, and then you can say things like get me the schedule for my favorite football team this season, add it to my calendar, and then text it to my best friend, for instance, and it's going to be able to do that all together. There is a new AI feature called Now Brief, and this is essentially a proactive assistant. It can give you a summary of your sleep from your Ring, for example. It can give you the weather forecast, it can schedule reminders, and it can also give you suggestions based on routines. So your personal habits, like you might be driving at this particular time, or if you've got a flight coming up, then it can tell you you should probably leave at this time by looking at traffic information. So lots of AI features. I've covered as many as I can, but all of these will be coming to all three devices, the S25, the S25 Plus, as well as the S25 Ultra. Will they be coming to previous devices? That's still a bit of a question mark. I'm assuming some of them will, some of them may not. And how long will these features be for free? That is still a question mark. With the S24 series, we heard that they will be free up until the end of 2026. So I'm assuming the S25 series features will be free up until the end of 2027. I don't know as yet. Now, for connectivity, all devices will support Wi-Fi 7. Last year, the S24 and the S24 Plus had Wi-Fi 6E. So if you've got a compatible router, you're going to get great speeds with Wi-Fi 7 across all of these devices. And for the batteries, so the battery sizes remain the same. 4,000 milliamps for the S25, 4,900 milliamps for the S25 Plus, and 5,000 milliamps for the S25 Ultra. However, because we do have the new 8 Elite chipset, which is more efficient, we should be getting better battery life on all 3 of the devices. And charging remains the same. So you've got 25 watts of wide charging on the S25. The S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra do support up to 45 watts of wide charging. Chargers are not going to come included out of the box. They haven't done for a few years. Now, wireless charging speeds are also going to remain the same. 15 watts of wireless charging. We were hoping for Qi 2 wireless charging speeds, but apparently you will be able to use MagSafe accessories if you have a MagSafe case. This is a bit of a question mark. They didn't really answer too much when it came to Qi 2 wireless charging. This is something that I'm going to have to test with my own personal MagSafe accessories on the S25 series. Now for pricing, the good news is that pricing in the UK is going to start at the same as what the S24 series started at. So the S25 will be starting at £800, the S25 Plus at £1,000, and the S25 Ultra at £1,250. Now these are for the base storage configurations, but remember you can get double the storage for free using my affiliate link down in the description below, as well as other offers, so do check that out. And that is the S25 series. To answer the question at the start of this video, which one is going to be right for you? Well, the base S25 will be absolutely fine for most people, but if you do want a larger device with that battery life, with that high resolution display, then the S25 Plus may be the one for you. But if you do want the best of the best, you want the S Pen without the Bluetooth functionality, Gorilla Armor to the improved cameras, as well as that ultra-wide camera and that telephoto camera, then the S25 Ultra might be the one for you. The good news this year is all of the devices do have the 8 Elite, so in terms of performance, they're all going to be right up there. That's what I think anyway. What do you guys think? Which one of these will you be going for? Drop me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to be doing lots of SuperSaf style coverage. Lots of comparisons are going to be coming up here. You're not going to want to miss them, so do subscribe and hit that bell icon if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do smash that like button for me. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.